realize if I don't read, how stupid I sound throughout the day. And that's no shot at nobody else. That's just me personally. Like, if I don't read at least a chapter or just like for 30 minutes, like for some reason I can't find vocabulary. Like, I just can't talk.
Or if you don't have time for a book, or if you don't read a book, read an article, or like read like a magazine or something like that.
Remember reading back of the cereal boxes?
Oh yeah, those were so much
those
fun.
are the vibes,
I like those.
I got cereal over there that I'm not eating because it's from all these cereal. Do not eat that.
And then
shit.
like finding out like little toys and shit.
Nah, fact. Hey, I just seen a fucking post about the lightsaber spoons. Brought me back all the way through. Remember the lightsaber spoons? I don't know if you're a little younger than me, but you gotta remember lightsaber spoons, bro. Those are not that crazy.
I do, but I wasn't like big on like Star Wars like that.
I fucking hate. Can we talk about how bad? Well, we're here. We're here with movies fanatics. Can we talk about how Star Wars is? Well, before we go to Star Wars, right? Before we say fuck Star Wars, like, it just like triggered me a little bit and shit. I got so much to say about Star Wars. Let me stay on track.
I like Mandalorian. I'll say that.
Yeah, I love Ahsoka, dude. That shit goes nuts.
Oh, I gotta watch that. I love Rosario Dawson.
Man, she's a beast in that, and I just genuinely like love her costume, her colors. Like, they just look so pleasing. It's so pleasing to the eye. But fuck Star Wars right now. We're gonna stay on track, okay? I'm prepared for you. Even though I spilled coffee like all over your notes, but whatever. I'm becoming a real dad, spilling coffee all over my papers.
No, you still doing your work.
Already broken, they been numbing out. I hide my feelings in liquor. I spill my mind to the crowd. I feel so lonely and bitter. It takes so much just to smile. They took another brother from us. What we supposed to do now?
100%, man. So I don't know if you listened to these before, but we always start off with just you telling the people a little bit about yourself.
Oh, of course.
How'd you grow up? You know what I'm saying? I feel like it's insane. Like, we've been knowing each other for 10 plus years, and I only know about the time that I spent with you. I don't really know much about your backstory.
Oh, I got you. Born and raised in Chicago. For the majority of my childhood, I grew up in Logan Square. I did spend a year in Connecticut, and it kind of tweaked me out because I thought it was like a few months. But mom's over here telling me it was a year, but I had a near fatal accident, and it was kind of a blur, so I don't know if it was like memory.
In Connecticut, you had a fatal accident?
Married in Connecticut. Yeah, this was around 2002. That we stood there for like a year. I went to school there. I don't remember.
Dude, that's scary though. That's a good like movie like plot right there though. I like that.
I don't. Oh my god! Like
kid forgets everything that happened in America.
I remember like school hallways, but I thought I was like
dreaming that, right?
No, like visiting. I thought I was visiting for someone else because I think Dolly was going to school there too. If anybody who doesn't know, Dolly's my sister.
Just gotta put that out there.
Yeah. For context, yeah. So I think she was going, but I was going to class as well. I was around 5, I think.
Yeah, that's probably why. There's a lot of things from my childhood.
It was 2002. Definitely in 2002.
Yeah, I can't remember if it was real or not. Like, I don't know if I dreamt it or if it was a real thing. And sometimes I talk to my like a bigger brother or a big sister or my dad about it, and they don't know it either. They're like, "What are you even talking about?" So I lose it too.
Man, yeah, it's where does the time go?
Why do you know why you guys left for a year? Like, that's a small amount of time to just go someplace.
Well, so my mom's side of the family, like her sister and her kids and more family on her side, they live in Meriden, Connecticut. So the exact reason I can't tell you. I'm not sure. Like why we just moved out there. I'm still not over that shit about. I thought it was a few months. No, we stood there for a year. That's crazy. So I don't know the reason exactly why we went out there, but. I mean, it was family, so that might have been the reason it was her. I love my aunt. I miss her so much. Hopefully I see her soon.
Probably like help it out or just...
Yeah, maybe, and something along the line. And yeah, I remember enjoying myself in Connecticut, though. But like, it was kind of spooky.
Dude, you know, I always, whenever I make jokes about people, like, you know,
especially at night, like
I'm like, oh, we live in Chicago. Like, it'd be crazy if we lived in Connecticut. I always say some shit like that. Or like,
it'd be too quiet
with no people there, right? Like, there's nobody there
in the neighborhood.
It's like, is this spread out long blocks and shit? Like, there's not like house next to house.
Yeah. Yes and no. So where we were living with my aunt. So like it was like I think it was 2-3 story house, I believe. It was kind of a blur. I'm sorry, but there was like other like surrounding like houses, like regular houses, you know, like with basements, you know, kids and like, you know, outside and all that shit.
Sick.
Yeah.
And you probably went to like first grade there. You 5 or you first grade?
First grade, yes, I believe so. Yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
First grade.
I think we came out. I think we came.
Maybe?
Yeah, because I think we came back around 2003 to Chicago.
Facts. And did you go to that house that we know, or was it a different house?
I think it was a different house.
A different house, at the show. That's Connecticut is wild.
But besides that, because I feel like I'm going on a tangent. Besides that, I did for the majority of my life. Really, I grew up in Logan Square. So yeah.
And what grammar school did you go to?
I went to Funston Elementary until.
That one too well.
Yeah.
I just walked past there to go. Sorry to cut you off, but like to go get a haircut, and there was like some 2 gangbanger kids like walking past.
Oh man.
And I forgot. I haven't been to school so long. I forgot that still exists. Like for real, dude.
It's crazy, right? Like
we were in 5th grade, like actually out here thinking we was awesome, but it's fucked up because people like they have a hold on them. They really think that they're like that, and they can lose their lives so fast. But that's a whole other thing,
right?
But Funston, how was that? Tell me about that.
Funston, I was a mischievous little kid.
Yeah, little brat, just out here.
I was a little brat. I was there until 3rd grade, and then I transferred to McAuliffe Elementary, and I stood there till basically I went to Ames Middle School.
Middle school, I know about that. I think shouts to Red went to Ames, and I think Sahara went to Ames, and I think Tanya went to Ames, but they probably were like 2 years ahead of you, if not a year or something like that.
Can't believe I'm the baby in the group technically. So.
No, honestly, but I always feel like the baby in the group because I'm always like that year. My birthday's in June, so I feel like I just don't. But everybody actually is like. But
I've been called an old soul.
Oh yeah,
because you get to a point where like you get called that, and then like why, like because you like listen to oldies, like yeah. No, but really it's really like you have to mature at a young age, and unfortunately, like if you've gone through like something traumatic, like
trauma one, and if you're always chilling with people older than you,
then that's definitely that's a definite like that's key, like hanging around older people and sinking yourself into their mentality and how they operate and stuff. And not being around as many kids. I mean, of course, I had friends and stuff. I was like, goofing around. But to be honest, like, around older folks and stuff like that,
100%. I mean, we were chilling with some dude named Body who had to be like 30 years old. Yeah, his name was Body. He was huge. Huge black dude. Shouts to Body. I hope you got some alive, dog. Hey, now, when I was a kid, I didn't put 2 and 2 together. That's what I'm saying out loud right now. I'm like, oh shit, that makes sense now. But man, he used to serve over there on Crystal or something like that. He used to be like with Martine. So
what was his name? Body.
Body, yeah. And we used to go over there and get high with him. Smoking Reggie. He had to be like 30, but like we were like kid dog. I had to be like I don't know, 8th grade or something like that, chilling with this grown ass man. Wow. And, like the girls we were going out with growing up, and like everybody I knew, even though they were in the same grade as me, just got held back. So they were all a couple years older than me and just dealing with older shit.
Damn.
So, yeah, but it's interesting what you just said though. It's trauma. I never understood. Not that I never understood, but I guess it kind of skipped over my mind a little bit to think that trauma does make you grow up faster than you need to grow up. I wonder how that clicks, like, because it has to be different traumatic experiences, right? But I think it kind of just, when you go through trauma, does it just like X out that piece of your childhood? Does it just instantly shoot you to the next like age? You know what I'm saying? Like, I wonder how that works.
Yes and no. Because when you're still a kid, you're still confused, and you're not exactly how you can really comprehend that. Depending how old you are. But really, if it's a consistent thing, it could stay with you. So, that's a good question. Like, does that block you out of like doing regular kid shit, or like
you no longer enjoy Barney because some bullshit happened to you?
No, not exactly. I think you can still enjoy Barney, because that's like escapism.
I put it on a smaller scale, but that's what I kind of mean. Like, do you like there's all of a sudden going outside and playing hide and seek just not register the same way to you now?
I think that's where movies come in. I think having that pure escapism and
fact, it's always I always like wow myself, and I don't know if it's my skill or you guys' skill when I make these questions, bro, and you guys always end up answering them before I can ask them. It's so beautiful, man. It's so awesome, man. So when you say mischievous and fun stuff,
here we go.
Because we got to get all the way through it, so we got
who
you are with these grown answers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What do you mean? Like, you putting thumbtacks on the teacher's chair,
flipping off the teacher, flipping off a student, throwing shit.
A lot of.
Okay.
Your mom knows she would go for shit like that.
Shouts out to mom.
Shouts to mom, by the way, man. Yeah. For real. Shout out to mom. She don't seem like she would let you do that shit.
Oh man, I gotta say, I'm gonna say this. So there's when it comes to a classroom, there's like a separate room. I guess you could say a vestibule or like a closet to hang your coats and your backpack and then
cubby area.
Cubby area.
Yeah.
And then this was, I think, this had to be second or third grade. And I really had to go to the bathroom. And the teacher was not letting me go to the bathroom. And everybody was getting set up and going to the desk. And I was still, still in the room, still getting ready. And I went to a corner and I pissed.
Oh my God.
And
in the cubby?
Yeah, I pissed by the door that leads outside into the hallway that's parallel. So there's 2 doors. And it was linking under into the hallway.
Jesus Christ.
And that's how they were informed about it. And they were asking every other student. And then they asked me, and Joshua, did you do that? I'm like, no. No, I didn't. So. Yeah.
Did you get away with that?
I did. I did that. I don't remember exactly, but yeah, I just somehow got away with it. Unless they just didn't give a fuck. I don't know.
That's funny because like when we had classes.
I was a dickhead.
Dude, but you had classes of like what? Well, actually, it wasn't your fault. The teacher shouldn't let you use the bathroom, man. Like, and I think that's a one bad apple spoils the bunch type of thing. Like, once you use the bathroom, every kid used to want to use the bathroom at that time.
And it can get annoying, which is in hindsight, I understand.
That's probably why motherfuckers were saying no. But it's like you didn't let him use the bathroom, so then he figured out a fucking way. But it's crazy that nobody knew because
that's crazy.
We had classes, I think back then of like 15 to 20 people. So like, how did nobody realize that you just ducked off and to go pee somewhere? She or he was a terrible teacher.
It was a she.
She was a terrible teacher for not noticing that. One, for not letting you go to the bathroom.
For the most part, lovely lady.
For not noticing that.
For the most part, lovely lady, but she was have to handle these imbeciles. So.
Had to do the job. Yeah. So how does mischievous Josh go to high school? Do you calm down a little bit?
No. I calmed down. Yeah, I was cool. Middle school was fun. It was chill. Like I didn't do anything crazy. Just went to class, did my thing. Going into high school was so fun. Those 4 years were amazing. I learned a lot.
You went to KP, right?
I went to Calvin Park, a neighborhood school.
Yeah,
that was around the way.
My sister and my brother went there.
And and then I graduated from there. Which I had to take summer school that last year because I was slacking like an idiot. I wish I didn't, so I could have graduated in time, but I did graduate that same year. Of course, that's
Oh, yeah.
I went to college, so to make up for how I slacked off in my senior year, I decided to go to film school that summer, like July, I believe, like take summer classes.
Yeah, so you only took like 2 weeks off to school.
Like a few good weeks off, and I was like, okay, time to fucking
buckle down. Let's go.
Yeah, I went to Illinois Institute of Art, which is closed down, I think now.
Why is that?
Yeah, I'm not sure. It was a for-profit school.
That makes sense.
But it was cool. I took digital filmmaking, video production, and learned, the basics with Premiere Pro, a little bit of After Effects, and I went there for a good 1.5 to 2 years, and then I stopped going. I figured it wasn't really worth my time. I can really learn this stuff on my own and just keep shooting, just keep filming, and keep writing, and that's what I've been doing. Yeah.
What made you want to do it on your own? Because I'm always mad at myself for not going to school. My mom seen how talented I was in music and was like, dude, like there's so many programs for you. Just even if you go to the shittiest school possible, you'll find something that like, will help you read music and help you play music better. And I think more importantly, what I missed out on is not only the reading music and just understanding the idea of recording a song better, but the people, And I think when you're making films,
I agree.
When you're making films, there's so many student films. There's so many people that have this going on and that going on and so many different connections. Like, do you think that you sacrificed a lot of that just to be like, I'm going to do it on my own? Or like, what was your thought process of being like, you know what, I'm going to just do this by myself?
So when it comes to like networking, like people, I think I should have stayed a little longer, like just to connect with more creative people and work on more projects. Exactly. That's always great, man, because filmmaking is collaborating. And then I had an opportunity to go to SIU. And I could have taken cinematography there. I should have done that. Yeah. I should have went, but family was dealing with a bit of separation anxiety, and it would have been a big step for me if I just went there. But man, do I regret it? Do I regret not finishing? Only to a certain extent because of networking and stuff like that. But when it comes to other stuff, when it comes to like production, filming, editing, no. I think I've done a pretty good job at like keep improving, and like if make something bad, it's okay. Just make something bad and tweak it, and what can you do better. So that's been my mentality with projects. And even if I do like if I make a short film and it's like amazing, I'm still gonna like, that shot could have been lighter. Like it was a little dim.
No, 100%. So it
You
sounds like
can't help yourself. You really can't help yourself.
Yeah, it seems like you got enough of what you needed to kind of push you out on your own.
Absolutely, I've learned a lot during that time there. 100%.
And I feel like school is only for people who need the structure. Like if you're a person who genuinely has passion for this and like gets up every day and writes scripts and wants to go shoot things, then you will naturally learn this on your own. But if you kind of need a school to kind of make sure you sit there on a computer and actually learn how to edit this and actually learn how to do this, then you probably need school for that. But you were so fired up that you probably were like, okay, thank you for showing me the basics. I'm gonna go take it on my own now.
That's pretty much it. You go to school if you need it.
Yeah.
Go to school if you need it. Yeah, go to school if you need it. But like I said, I learned a lot. But you definitely need to film. And when it comes to film school, they don't really give you much time to actually shoot as much projects as you want.
Really?
Yeah, because we watch like some old films, and then we watch like a structure. We watch like a short film from another person, and that short film is trash. But okay, we'll learn off that. That's cool. And then but we make like little. To be honest, we would like make. They would give us a list of basically make a short film of shots, day for night, medium, close up, tracking. That was the basis of like what I was doing.
Okay.
For the good majority of those classes.
It's like the foundation of how to shoot things.
Yeah. Yeah, and that short film that I mentioned that they showed us that we had to re-edit it ourselves, like re-edit it in our own way, how we would make it better.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was fun. That was cool.
Yeah, because I would think film school is just, let's watch a bunch of old shit. Tell me why this is good. Tell me why this is bad. I mean, why this is bad, yeah. And then, like, I feel like every quiz would be like, go shoot some people in a coffee shop and make it the coolest thing you possibly can. That's how I would run a film school, at least. But I guess that's what I hated about school. I feel like school was never about what we actually wanted to do. It was always these outside things, which I'm very much appreciative of now. I understand that you need to know all these other things to figure out this thing now. But when I was a kid, I just had so much passion for, like, bruh, if you're teaching me 1 + 1, just teach me 1 + 1. Like, I don't give a fuck about everything else around it. Like, why are you teaching me so much shit? It's too much to comprehend. I don't think I need to know it because I can pass the problem. But what they were actually trying to teach me was like, no, when you get farther in this math, we're trying to equip you so as you grow, you can do things better and better and better. And I get that's probably what they were trying to do with film, and that's what they try to do with music. But my dumb ass, I guess my mind just wouldn't let me sit there for it.
I think you've answered this. Do you feel like upcoming artists, do you think they should like take classes and
yeah,
audio work and
I do. I think all those little programs that I found, like After School Matters and things that, even the program that me and Toya ran in Humble Park of just like teaching kids what it is to sit down in a garage band, I think it really does give people that outline of what it actually looks like. Do I think you can, record a song in your closet and blow up? Yeah, of course.
It's easy. It's easy now.
Yeah, can you do it on TikTok and just upload it? Yeah, of course.
Man,
I just think it is a super benefit to really sit down, even if you're paying for a session, to sit down with your engineer and actually ask them, like, okay, well, how did you make my voice sound like that? What are you doing right here? Are you putting auto-tune on? Why are you tuning it to A? Because they don't even know where they're being tuned to. They don't even know they're singing in C. It's like, oh, he's tuning you to C. That's what auto-tune is. But they're just sitting there like, make me sound good. If you can actually understand that, now when you go to a bigger studio, you're not coming in there sounding crazy. Like, could you do this? Could you do that? Like, no, now you can actually be like, hey, auto-tune me to C major, and then go ahead and put some reverb on this. And when you can talk like that, people respect you not only more, but then now they can actually understand you, which makes your song go the farthest.
I'm going to take your idea, and I would, for my next project, short film, whatever, I would love for somebody else to hold the camera and I can actually direct, because I'm always DP on my own stuff. Yeah. I'm always shooting with the camera. I would love for somebody else to take over, and then I could just compose, point, okay, do that.
No facts. Dude.
And like what you said, like now you have the benefits. Like you can tell like your engineer to tweak that, like go back. Now you made me like, yeah, I should do that, like, for my next thing.
Honestly, and it's all about just finding reliable people and people
reliable
who are the
people.
Same. For me, it's always been about reliance. I mean, this whole journey I've been on of trying to create a business, start fashion, do movies, do music, I've always been like, I can't get here because I'm relying on these people who are not the same as me, or they don't have the same passion as me, and so it like makes me frustrated, or I quit, or I decide to do it by myself. But when you do it by yourself, you realize just how hard that is, and how much money it takes, and how much fucking time you need, and like
so much money.
The fact that I'm gonna shoot this on my phone, I have to edit the audio. Then I have to edit the video, and those are two different editing processes. I have to watch this and listen to this at least 6 times before anybody else can hear it. If I just had somebody condition off to it, that'd be so much better.
Like, oh man, like rewatching, like, okay, I'm gonna export it. All right, okay, one more time. Okay, everything.
Yeah,
okay.
you see a little glitch in the corner?
Wait, I gotta go back. Oh, the title card, no,
yes, bro.
Gotta change it.
It's fucking annoying, man. But yeah, I definitely suggest that.
But that's great. That's fun.
Yeah.
It makes you want to do better on the next one and keep you on your toes, because you don't want to like just be lazy about it. And
yeah, and back to my point of learning all things instead of the thing that you're looking for. Like, I think it's dope to be instrumental in every aspect of what you're doing. Like, I think it's cool to me that I can come in the studio and talk about my mixing. I can talk about my chords. I can be like, oh, you know what? We should play this in this key. Or I can be like, you know what? I have these chords kind of set up. Or I can tell somebody where they need to sing at. I can tell them, I know every single piece of the track. I'm not coming in here rapping and then just leaving my song up to 6 other people in the studio. So, it's almost like working at a job. Like, I'm a server at a restaurant, and I've worked host. I've worked expo, I've worked bar, I've worked all these things. So now when the host has to use the bathroom, I can come up front and group people and sit them down. I can go to expo and be like, hey, we need fries on the fly. Like, I can do these things, and it makes you very instrumental, and it makes you more powerful, and it just makes you more respected. And
absolutely,
you just have a lot of knowledge in everything you're doing, which ultimately gives you more control in your creation, which I think is what we're all looking for, is creative control without giving too much away.
Absolutely. Without giving too much away,
Yeah, unless you really trust people. Like, shouts to Linus, I didn't have to do too much with him. I would come in with ideas. I would be like, yo, I have this like really somber effect I think of, or like I would literally just yell sounds to him and he would just click with me.
Yeah, shout out to Linus.
Yeah, he would be like, oh, I think you talk about this. And I'm like, no,
but don't you love that when that creative energy like just flows like from one another, and I like that a lot. That's consistency right there. At its best. Like.
Yes, and shouts to him for recognizing it, because I don't know if you've ever been in a relationship with somebody, whether romantic or not romantic, and I'm talking about a relationship with my producer right now, but like that you feel so closely to, and like you guys are making the greatest things, and you're just afraid that they don't feel the same. But dude, he moved to Texas or Iowa or something like that. He called me like every day.
Communication.
Like, yo, bro, like. Not every other month, like, bro, I was just listening to the album we made, and like, bro, this shit is fucking crazy. Like, I love making music with you. So we've been trying to make shit lately, but kind of fell off right now. I found some new people to work with, which is really dope. Oh, but we'll figure it all out. Let's talk about this obsession with movies, though, man. Where does that come from, dude? I feel like from children, we're fed to the screen, right? Like, it's just kind of...
It's like a whole other world.
Yeah, and isn't it crazy? Like, nowadays, we call them iPad kids, and then back in our days...
VHS kids?
That to sound old. Yeah, but yeah, pretty much. They kind of like a pacifier to pacify us. They were always turning on something to make us kind of shut up a little bit. Do you think your obsession comes from that?
And it's funny, originally before I even wanted like to just be a filmmaker, I wanted to be an artist, and I would draw a lot. But ironically, I would draw movie characters, logos for movies, comics.
Sick.
And then I just started watching. I think there's just something about it, is like you're investing in a whole other world with these new people that you don't know. You're exploring new things, and it grabs you. And escapism, that's what I keep referring to. And yeah.
Yeah, your obsession just comes. Yeah. I can see that. I think movies, I love the idea of stories. And I think even with my music, I'm always trying to tell a story. Like, I've never made an album without trying to make a story. Like, Blackwater's with Cinderella was an entire book before it was an album. And I so bad wanted it to be a script, but for some reason it started as a poem, and then it came out as a letter, and then it became a story. And
man, that would have been dope to read.
Man, I think it might still be in my notes somewhere, and it's very, very what's the word when things are short, concise. But yeah, it went from a poem, and then it was a letter to my first love, and then it became a story, because I was kind of like writing our story, you know what I mean? Then it became my story, then it became other story, and it's just like, man, it just connects so many ways. But I think it's so cool. Fuck, my mind's going everywhere because you just said so much. But one, I want to say, it's crazy and poetic how the universe works when you said you wanted to be an artist and you draw, because like I think I wanted to be a doctor, right? Like it's so left field. I know, but the whole idea, like, it wasn't the act of me being a doctor. It was me caring about people and wanting to heal them. And I feel like music does the same thing. You know,
you've always been you've always been a big advocate with that. Like, just
I just love people.
Being considerate of others and well-beings of others, and I've always loved that about you.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Thank you for noticing it, because I know I can have my moments where people will be like, "He is a dick." I don't see. I don't see.
We all have our moments. We're human.
And I'm just like, bro, I was on 3 bottles of Hennessy that night. Like, please do not judge me for that shit. Like, what the fuck? Like, I was fucked up. But no, I just think it's crazy and poetic how, like, I think you always are who you want to be. It just comes out in different ways, but the purpose always stays the same. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, back to the obsession of movies.
Story
man.
is important. Story is first and foremost. Yeah, if you want to make something good, you got to think of that story, man.
Yes, and I guess I do have to relate to you when I say escapism, because I think it is a way to just kind of be in that character's shoes, or just be in that world for a second and not focus on what's going on here. With a song, it's kind of like you're looking for something to relate to. Yeah. You're looking for something to match the vibe you're on. With a movie, you're trying, like, whenever I'm sad, I watch Mulan. Because Mulan always makes me laugh, it makes me cry, it makes me go...
I need to rewatch that. I haven't watched the live-action remake.
You know, the live-action one is kind of hard. I'm not going to lie to you. It reminds me of Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. It gives me those type of vibes, not the same fight scenes, because I remember when I first seen that movie and we seen them fucking balancing on trees, we were like, Jesus Christ, what the fuck is this? This is insane, bro.
I love Mulan, that's a hard movie.
But I'm escaping it originally, right? And I think, I guess the obsession is just to be consumed and be there.
It's just fascinating, especially like if you're watching like behind the scenes featurettes and stuff like that.
Dude, Actors Roundtable is another thing I like to watch on YouTube.
And Directors Roundtables.
Oh my God, it's so beautiful. Just like hear their ideas behind it, or what they originally wanted to do, and just what they had to do to get in that character.
It's so inviting, and you learn a lot from these guys, and they're just regular ass guys who happen to make these fucking big movies.
Dude, sick, man.
It's reassuring. Yeah, it's reassuring, and I think there's enough there's enough information on the internet to help you, like to watch, to read, and
no, all the way through. I think it's dope that you're obsessed with it, though. Like I was, when I was writing these notes, I was back and forth in my head, like, should we use this word, and if it's going to be beneficial to the conversation. But I think when you're passionate about something, you kind of do obsess over it, right? And if you're not obsessing over it, then how could you ever be the best at it?
I mean, like,
are you trying to be the best at it, or do you just want to be seen? Like, do you just want your films to be seen?
I wanna make good stuff, and hopefully people would watch them. But at the end of the day, you know, you want to make a movie for yourself as well. Like, would you watch this?
Oh yeah.
And that's always the first thing for me, is like, you know, just hopefully this comes out, it's good. You know, hopefully other people will enjoy it. If not, perfect. Let me know.
Facts. No, that's how I choose my album songs and choose things that I actually want to release, like, for real. Like, there's things that I release just to release, and I always do it based on my replay value. If I listen to this song 10 times and I'm over it, then I'm like, okay, just drop it, because it's gonna go really fast, and that's all you really need is just drop it in the puddle real fast. And if I'm like, oh, this is something I would listen to like 3 years from now, I'm gonna hold this and find 6 other songs that can go with it.
I'm so sick of artists being so mysterious.
So mystique and shit.
Just drop some music.
No, I mean,
not to you. Just
no, you're right though. We're all trying to be on our Beyonce shit, man. We're all trying to be on our little, like, Kanye, Playboy Cardi, like, stay in the shadows, drop when we feel like it type shit.
Hey, Playboy Cardi is another one. He needs to drop that album.
Man, I do not like to get on this podcast and talk bad about people, man, because this is all about healing.
No, it's all love. It's all love.
But I do not like that, man.
This is a podcast for everybody. You know,
I did not like that, man. What's the last movie you seen?
The last movie I watched was in the theater. This was last night. I saw The Marsh King's Daughter with Daisy Ripley, who's from Star Wars, who plays Rey. Okay. Ripley. I said Ripley. Ridley. Daisy Ridley. I'm sorry. Ripley. I fucking love Alien.
What's that movie about? Did that just drop, or is that...
It's out. It just came out. I didn't watch any trailer. I went in cold. Okay. And that's always, like, the best, like, thing to do, like, when you're watching a movie or before watching a movie. Like, because I haven't watched really many trailers lately before watching a movie.
Just, like, heard about it and go?
Just heard about it, read about it. Okay, cool. It got my interest. Good cast. Okay, cool. This movie is a survival psychological thriller. It's about a woman who Oh, I don't want to spoil it. Wait. It's about a little girl who grows up without her father, who they lived out in the woods for a long time. But, you know, he's bad news. And he held her mother captive and kidnapped her, and that's how she was born. And then 20 years later, she has her own family, but she's kept that part of her life from her husband. And
he's uncovering the shit.
Yeah, and then her dad is in prison. He got arrested. They caught him. And then he gets transferred for some reason, and then he breaks out, and he
I don't want to give away the movie. Here's the whole movie.
Yeah, now the movie. I would say the movie plays well at is like whether it's in her mind or it's in real, because you know they lived out in the wilderness, and he taught her a lot of like you know really heavy stuff when it comes to like surviving out in the woods, and basically she uses those rules, that mentality to help basically search for him and hunt him down herself.
I like that.
So he won't get caught.
So it's like one of those like mystery thriller type of films where you even yourself can sit there and be a little detective. You know what I'm saying? I like that. I like those.
I wish we've gotten more of that. The movie, it's okay. It's okay. It has some solid stuff with it, the good cast and entertaining. But it wasn't anything remarkable. It definitely could have been better.
Facts. Me and my girl, we've been on Tubi, a Tubi binge lately.
I don't watch a lot of Tubi.
Dog, nobody should. But you know, we have a really good time at watching these films and being like, bruh, like it's hard to be mad at because it's what I want to do too. So as I'm watching it, I'm like, oh, like you can see the beauty in it, you can see the talent, but you just see these terrible acting. But like the scripts are really good. Like you know, I'm like this movie's not a bad idea.
Or something that's overlooked is you can have a bad movie but with good actors.
Facts.
I don't know. I think editing is when you really make your movie, because like whatever, if they read that and they think, oh yeah, this is gonna be good, and then but the movie ends up being trash, it at least makes it entertaining if the cast is good, because they're selling it, man.
Yeah, if you love this actor, you just like to see them do something different.
For example, one movie I can think of at the moment, The Lazarus Effect.
I haven't seen that one. Go ahead, talk about it.
It has a big cast. It has Childish Gambino, Evan Peters, Olivia Wilde, that one chick from what's that one movie? It's one of those adventure family movies, man. Oh my god, I seen it in the theater. I can't. I'm just
Dungeons and Dragons.
No, I didn't see that. Oh no, it's with the dude who played Norman Bates from the show.
From the Bates Motel show?
Yeah. Who played Norman Bates in the
I know,
the
I can see his face. Oh, he played in the Doctor show too, right?
The autistic doctor?
Yeah,
can't play a regular character. Like, can you play a character with some riz?
It's like, dog, what's to you? Okay, so I know the actor though. That's enough for me.
Okay, besides that, good fucking cast.
Yeah.
The movie itself,
terrible.
It could have been better, but man, it's just the actors sell it, and it makes it entertaining if the cast is talented.
Yeah, I can't think.
So
of
I got to give them that, man.
Head right now, I can't think of a terrible movie with
collaboration.
I can't think of one that myself that I can think of off the top of my head right now. But that does happen, and I hate when it does, because I feel like it's the same as like just putting too many people on one song. Like, all these motherfuckers can rap, but, like, why do we need 13 people on one song?
Hey, man, I used to love those. Back in the day when they remixes were a big thing.
And shit. Yeah, no, they were...
And then, like, a lot of people on this one song. I'm like, okay, like, who has a better verse, you know?
Yeah, that was fun as a rapper, as a listening thing, though. You know what I mean?
It drags out.
Exactly, and you kind of only listen to maybe the first part or whatever the case may be.
If you're just a casual fan, you're just not as... Yeah.
So the last movie I seen in theaters was Five Nights at Freddy's. Did you check it out yet?
I saw it and I didn't like it.
No, I thought that shit was pretty fucking cool. Now I wasn't big on the games and nothing like that, but I do remember them, and I thought it was a good. I think they just did the game as a movie, but they did it very well without overdoing it. Like same as Uncharted. I haven't really played Uncharted, so it's hard for me to judge those.
I played all them games. I love those games.
So don't you think it was kind of like synonymous, and they kind of added their own twist to it a little?
I like the movie, the Uncharted movie. Yeah,
it was cool.
I
think with Five Nights at Freddy's was like the same idea, but they kind of just stayed on page. I loved it. I thought it was really fucking cool.
It was cool to see Matthew Lillard.
Yeah, but kind of gave me Scream vibes when he was. Yeah, right.
Yes.
It was like, all right, guys.
It was kind of cool. Supposedly he's coming back. I don't know if I mean this movie is successful. It is making hella money.
No, we were mad about it because it was on Peacock the same day and we didn't know.
you're mad about that? Yeah, I think every movie should be watched in the cinema.
Because it was me, my girl, and her nephews. You know, we spent some money to go see this film. I mean, wrong. I enjoy watching. You
could have watched it for free.
Yeah, I could have sat right here and we all have popcorn. Like, we could have spent $50 on just drinks and shit.
I wish that movie was scary at least, but it's PG-13. I mean,
it was, and that's what I said. I was like, I wish, like, I don't know, maybe it was the music, maybe it was the soundtrack. It was just certain parts of it where I'm like, this could be so much more scary. Or I wish I was scared. Like, I wish I was scared. But a beautiful movie nonetheless. Last movie I watched that was outside of the theater was Cinnamon. You ever seen that movie before?
Cinnamon?
Yeah.
No, I didn't see that.
It has Damon Wayans in it.
Okay.
Crazy as fuck. It's on Tubi.
Tubi.
Honestly, really cool movie. It's about this girl. She works at a gas station. Well, actually, let me actually say the synopsis in the best way possible. We're gonna say it's a crime cowboy family owns a gas station that gets robbed. We'll do that. We'll leave it there.
One of those like neo-western thrillers.
Nah, for some reason they just wear cowboy hats. It has really nothing to do with western at all. But yeah, she meets this guy, this crook, and basically they get together and decide they're gonna rob this gas station, but that she works at. But so many things unfold after that.
Of course,
it was a decent film. It's a decent watch. It wasn't something I would say is gonna get an Oscar or anything, but it was a decent watch.
On Tubi?
On Tubi, dude.
Probably give it a watch.
My girl
I rent movies just to support them, so
I'm running through Tubi, dog. Funny as hell, laughing at it, but actually genuinely like engulfed in this movie. That's the funny part about it. Like, we're not turning them off. We're like, what the fuck is this? But we're watching it all the way through. And the worst part about Tubi movies is they all end with no consequence. Like, this dude could have been killing everybody in the fucking world, but he just gets away with
it. Underwhelming.
Yes, bro. That's what it kind of is.
The last movie I saw that wasn't in theaters was called Le Samurai. It's like a French thriller, and from the 60s. It's about like a hitman, and he's very precise.
Shouts to the professional.
Yeah, a professional hitman, precise. He does his job, but it kind of gets botched because he gets taken in as one of the suspects from the police. He's free, of course. They can't confirm, but they try killing him when he tries to collect his payment. And now he's trying to unravel this noir story, and it takes place in Paris. It's called Le Samurai because he has samurai abilities.
Is it in French?
It's in French.
Okay, it's dope.
And it's pretty. It's a slick movie, man. It's a slick movie, man. It's pretty dope.
I'm actually I love it. Down. I should have my laptop open.
Le Samurai, yeah, that's what it's called. And yeah, that man, there's this shot, right? Like, he has his hands down, gloves on. This other dude in front of him, he has his gun already out. He's about to turn and shoot. Mind you, this man has nothing. All of a sudden, this man, he shoots him down with the gun in the next shot. Like, he just whipped it out off screen and just shoots him. I thought that was pretty dope.
I love that, man. So great action, great story.
A little action, but it's a pretty cool, Catch Me If You Can,
okay. Yeah. I like that. I love those movies, man. I hate
to do this. You'll like it, man. You'll like it a lot. I think it's right up your alley. It's on Max.
Say less. It's even better if it's on Max. I've been pulling up shit on high movies.
Beautifully shot too, man.
Man, dude, I've been
1967. It came out. Yeah.
The way I freak out on camera angles these days, bro. My girl be looking at me like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" I'm just like, "Did you see that pan, bro? Like, that shit was so cool, bro." Yeah, no, that's what I really love about movies too. Beyond the stories, it's like the visual effects that you can put up, not the CGI, but like just genuinely what they can do with a camera. Even one shot takes. I'm a fan of my one shot takes.
Magic, man.
I love that shit.
I love that too, and if you notice in a couple of my stuff, I've always let the actor act. I don't like to cut away. I like to show everything in camera. I try to do that as much as I can. That's like one of my favorite things. I love tracking shots. I love all that. It's cool, man. It's cool.
Because you never know what the actor's going to bring to a table or what little small arm movement is going to just change.
Like, because this is supposed to be their home. This is supposed to be their sofa. They know how they should sit when they're home, and you can get some good ass magic out of that, man.
I love that too.
It's really good. It's the little things.
I hate to do this to you, but I have to do it to you.
Dígame.
Top 5 movies right now. Go.
Alien, Children of Men, Gone Girl, Spirited Away, and oh god, okay, and I'm gonna go with Snowpiercer.
Okay, those are two movies. Two of those movies I gotta go watch. I'm not gonna say my top 5. I had them prepared, but I don't have them in my head no more. But you guys are gonna go comment on his top 5 and tell him if this trash.
Again, Alien, Gone Girl, Children of Men, Spirited Away, and Snowpiercer. Yeah.
Heard, man. So would you say your obsession with movies harmed you or bettered you? Right, we say it's escapism. Yeah, because we say it's,
art kills us.
I mean, can it though? Because I feel like a lot of times you can get submerged in what you love, and you stop showing up for the people that you love.
You can be a workaholic
for your family. Yeah. You know, you could stop showing up to your job. Some people get so passionate to the point where they'll just stand in the corner and play guitar all day. You know what I'm saying? Nothing.
It definitely. If you're really that passionate about your art, about what you want to do, and it, like fully like workaholism, all the 9 yards you're doing, then you definitely need to cut it back a little bit, because that's going to be a strain on your own mental health. It's going to be a strain on your loved ones. I think it's best is to, you can have a couple of days just to decompress and just, you know, do your thing. Don't overdo it. Don't overdo it.
But I also actually,
your mental health is important.
It's very, very important. That's why we're here. But I actually that also because you said escapism, and escapism can.
Yes.
I think there's a level of escapism, and it's funny because I just had this conversation with Brett in my past episode. That was one of the topics that he wanted to talk about. And I think
can't wait to listen to that.
Definitely do, man. It's a roller coaster of emotions for sure, but it's also. There's a level of escapism that I think is healthy for everybody, right? Like, whether it's just like I'm having a bad day, I want to go watch this film, or I want to just, you know, go get distracted by my best friend, or just go swim for 30 minutes and not even think about anything. There's also that escapism where it's like, okay, I know I have to come back to this problem. I just had an argument with my girlfriend. I should have spoken about this better, but, you know, we both need some space right now. We may escape in different ways. It's not even like we're taking space to meditate on it. We're actually taking space to be like, fuck that even happened. But I know I got to come home tonight and deal with that. So, you know, let me just go escape for a while, calm down, come back there. Those are like things that I consider like levels of good escapism and things that are healthy for you. But then there's escapism where you're never dealing with your emotions, and you're never dealing with your mental health, and you're not unpacking that trauma. And
you're going to crash and burn.
And you're not talking to your parents about what happened at 3 years old, and your parents are not talking to you about these things because of this escapism. And when you said obsession with movies, you did say escapism. So I wonder to you, like, did that obsession make you better or worse in your opinion? And looking at you, I can say from the outside looking in that, of course, it made you better and more talented and better in your craft, of course. But do you think any piece of that, especially with escapism considered, did it, you know, kind of slow you down in your growth somewhere? Did it kind of, you know, maybe ruin a couple of relationships? Did it kind of not unpack things as fast as they could have been in some ways?
That's a really good question.
Take your time.
Did it compromise anything in my personal life? For the most part, no, thankfully. I think I kept a steady head on my, on my passion. I wasn't out here like, what's that one crazy director, like Orson Welles. Orson Welles, like I'm all over this. Like I eat, breathe, cinema. Like
he made Touch of Evil and Citizen Kane, correct?
Yep. Mm-hmm,
yeah,
that's
so
him.
Touch of Evil was a way better movie than Citizen Kane. I don't give a fuck what anybody has to say. But
Touch of Evil?
Yeah, Touch of Evil.
Okay, I've heard of it. I haven't watched it.
First minute and 30 seconds is just one long shot of him following his fucking car and it blows up.
He's good.
Sick. He's so sick.
But because I want to answer this like diligently. Did it compromise anything? For now, no. For now, it didn't compromise anything. It's my passion. I love film, but I don't let it affect my relationships, my family. And it's good to have hobbies. That's all I gotta say.
Facts. That's beautiful, man. And I guess on my side, I feel a little different personally. I feel like a lot of me was like, I had this chip on my shoulder of like everybody telling me I can't do it, one, and two, I just knew I had to put in the
who are they to say what you can and can't do? What you do? What you do?
Right. What are you doing besides telling a kid he can't do something?
How the fuck do you know? Like what he can and can't do?
Irritating, bro.
If anything, you're influencing that person even more. If You know what? Yeah. You know what? Yeah. Okay, cool. Right. I can't do it. Let me show you.
Let me show you. And that's what it kind of did to me. It made me angry, and it made me like snappy, and it made me just like kind of pompous and just kind of arrogant.
Pompous.
Yeah, right. It made me extra, bro. And like I think I lost some good people along the way because I was so like, you're not making me money. You're not making this career go forward, so I have no use for you. Now, I don't think I was that way with everybody all the time. I mean, i.e., I still have you guys as friends. I mean, I think it helped that we were kind of in the same vein of doing the same thing, so we understood each other's quote-unquote arrogance or passion.
Ego.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But, yeah, there's you know, some people along the way that I believe I hurt because I was just like, I'm not staying for your show. I just performed. I have a studio session. And they're like, bro, why would you not stay for my show? That really hurt my feelings. And I'm like, I don't care. I had to wrap up this album. Like, I'm supposed to drop it tomorrow. Like, fuck this. And I was just a dick along the way. And I think my session of passion, I think that was, don't get me wrong, it was good for me. And maybe those people weren't meant for me regardless. But I do kind of regret it a little bit. When I look back to it, I'm like, damn, I wish I had that heart to just be like, you know what, let's hold off the album for another day. I want to be here for my friend. That I said that was my friend. That helped me out on my album and let me watch their show. You know what I'm saying? I think my session did get in the way a little bit and kind of, you know, ruin my character a little bit.
It's never too late to apologize, man. That's why it's good in hindsight that you're looking back, and that's maturity right there. That's growth.
No, facts, and that's all I can do. And some people I went back to say sorry to. Other people it's like, yeah, get over it.
Like you know, like how they operate.
Yeah,
like,
it's like, okay, yeah, we'll see what happens.
Praises to you, but I'm gonna be over here
all the way through, man. I got another tough question for you, bro.
Okay.
What would you say is the best part about film? Because there's so many components that go into it. So
many components.
What is the best part, man? And I guess it could even be what it does for you. But what's the best part about it itself? If you had to talk to an alien race and be like, "Yo, we have this thing called film. We have this thing called movies. This is the best part of it."
The camera. The camera is really the tool to whatever you're watching on screen, on your phone. I've always loved the technique of the camera and like how you operate the camera. Everything's digital per se, so like it's easier access, but still like the camera is a fascinating tool and it's a fascinating it's a fascinating tool. And I think the best thing for me is the camera. Is just like that's how you make your stuff, but it's just. I say like when you're like watching the frame, like I guess the beauty of it is just like just looking at like what's in front of you and like it depends on the shot. And so that's why I'm having a hard time answering this. That's why I'm just going for the camera.
No, the camera's a good one, dude. Me being so into music, I obsess over headphones, right? Like I'm always like, what's the best headphone? What's going to sound
listen
the best?
That crisp ass quality? Yes.
Yes. So do you do the same with cameras? Do you like nerd tech out over cameras?
Wait. Audio. I love audio. Audio is important in film, man. Audio is the one thing that fascinates me even more because it took a long time for me like to really, you know, like improve on my audio design for the films because, you know, ADR, like just recording audio, like it's tough work. It's really hard. Like you want it to make it sound clear. You're gonna hear like stuff in the background, like, and that's the one thing, like when I was making Scream is the audio, because for the first time I've used a boom operator, and I usually have a Rode mic on my camera, which is stable, it's good, but with a boom operator I can hear more clearly, I can hear background noise that affects the shot. Right. So
because the Rode mic it only gets right in front of you, right?
Yeah, so retraction, I did say camera, but audio fascinates me a lot when it comes to film.
Facts.
Because especially horror movies, when you're watching a horror movie, sometimes you're covering your ears.
Yes. You know what? Especially when you watch movies in the theaters, and shouts to the speakers of the theaters, because you're right. It's like the little scratches that you hear like under your seat. It's not even coming from under your seat. It's really the speaker that's all the way over there, like right stage somewhere. But it's like it's only giving this one sound, and then you have this like overhead fucking strings playing. But then you can also hear this faint screen in the background. And I love watching the fucking new Rockstar shit because they're like, oh, if you listen closely, you can hear this in the background. I'm like, I never heard that because I'm watching it from my piece of shit TV. But then I put my headphones on and I'm like, oh shit, there is something going on in the back. Yeah, you're right. That is probably the coolest thing. That's crazy how we can relate to that. Yeah, I'm also in love with the camera too, and the shots about.
And relating to what I was saying about watching what's on the screen and like watching what's in front of you, listening to that audio, like it tells another thing. And I like that benefits later with the story, because I like stuff like that with layers. You know, you use audio as a story tool.
No, I think that's what makes a really good movie, right? Like this, you have the story. But then you have the editing that tells the story in a certain way. Like if you edited this movie a completely different way, the story would be a completely different one. And then you have the music, which is like the production that carries you through it. You know what I'm saying? And all those different layers kind of put you in this feel of this movie. So I think that's kind of how it all goes. I love those.
I'm very proud of my last 2 projects that I worked on, and the audio, like some of the best audio I've heard. Special thanks to the crew.
I love that, dude. I love that for you. But that's piggybacking off of that it's so hard to choose which piece of film that you would love so much. That just shows how much goes into movies, right? Like a lot of it goes into it from the cast, from the productions, from the crews, from the editing, from the music, from all these different little things. You know what I'm saying? What would you say pushed you to think that you can do it? Like, you know, like you have this huge plate of food and like you're like, I'ma finish it. You know what I'm saying? Like what makes you think you could do that, man? Because I used to, you know, when I got into film, like I said, I was just immersed in the story, and I was like, man, like I love to write stories, I love to write poems, and I was like, oh, I can see it though. Everything I'm thinking of, I can see. And then when I really started like studying film on my own time, really breaking down what went into it, I'm like, Jesus Christ, like this took years to do. It took another 6 months to edit, and like people had to come back and reshoot. They had to shape her head again because she didn't get this right, and blah blah blah.
Continuity,
like,
man.
Dude, it's like that's a lot of shit that goes into films. And you look at people's budgets. I'm like, bro, she's only in the house talking for 10 minutes. Like that costs $10,000. Like it's crazy. Like what makes you think you could do something like that? Because when you think of music, I can get a microphone and record this in the closet, and it may not be the best quality, but I promise you I could probably get a couple fans off of it, right? So with movies, you can do that. You can start small. Of course, you have to. But when you think about a grand scheme of a film, what makes you think you can do it? Kind of a challenging question.
Great question. I don't know if I can do it. That's why I'm doing it. And that's why I'm doing it, and that's why I'm just trying to keep just trying to tell a good story. Like I said, you know, I would love to hear people's constructive criticism. Most artists are sensitive. You know, they want to hear the good stuff, but you need to listen to those bad stuff. Yeah. And do I have what it takes? Filmmaking is hard. It's very hard. As long as you have the drive and passion for it, I think I have what it takes. Yeah. As long as I'm consistent, and it's a pretty challenging question, because you know, like you have those doubts sometimes. Like, is this really for me? Am I really as driven as I was before? But you just use that as like energy, and use that energy towards whatever you're working on in front of you, and just try to make good stuff. So for now, we'll see. I just gotta keep working on my craft.
100%. I like how you answered that very humbly and honestly, man, because I think it ties into a bunch of things. It kind of ties into what I was saying on just like everybody telling me I wasn't going to do it, because I think that was their idea. Like, what makes you think, like they look at Jay-Z on these big stage and like, what makes you think you could do that? And like you start to question yourself, like, I don't fucking know. Like, I don't even know if I can do that. And you get a little taste of it over the course of your career, you know, like you come from here to here to here to here, and you start to see like, you know what, I can do this. But yeah, all those different challenging things come into play, and I guess sometimes you do get down and out and start to like question yourself, like, am I really him?
And
you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying, bro?
It's okay to have those doubts, man. It's okay to have those doubts. Like I said, we're human, and it's hard. I mean, like you said, it's easy to record a song, put it out, then what?
Yeah, then what goes after it?
Yeah,
I always thought that artists were a special kind of people. And in my biased opinion, like the closest to God.
The creators.
Right? Because we have this innate, intelligent delusion. Right? And it's not delusion to us. It's truly like belief. It's faith. It's like actual faith. Like, you cannot tell me God is not real. I don't give a fuck what you say. And you cannot tell me like this music isn't good, or this film isn't good, or I'm not good enough to do it or judge it myself. And I feel like it takes a lot, especially us as kids with all this trauma and all these different adults who probably had to give up on a lot of their dreams, which is why they're telling us to not do them. But, you know, you watch
That's heartbreaking.
No, it is. And if you don't have a mother or father who's into like something artistic, and you just see them busting their ass at a job or something that's not their career choice, you know, that's what you kind of start to see, and that's what you grow up and start to realize, like, fuck, we got bills, we got this, we got that. But something keeps us here to grasp this dream. You know what I'm saying? Like, a few of us are lucky enough to be gifted enough to even pursue it, but to actually put it in our brains that, you know what, I can do this. I'm gonna learn all the pieces I possibly can to do it myself and meet all the people I possibly can to do it. Like, I can't even really tell you what in me, like, told me that I could do it, that I would do it. I just think I loved it so much that I was just like, what else would I do with myself? You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to fucking do anything else. Like, I really just love this and I really want to fucking create it. Like, can we break down what it took you to say that to yourself? Do you know either? Like, do you know, like, what in your brain was just like, you know what? Nah, like, this is just who I am. Like, you can't even take this out of me no more. Like, I spent all that time not doing music, all that time trying to grieve, trying to find myself again, going through breakups, deaths, and all this crazy shit, right? But, you know, and after coming out on the other side of that, like, I had to face myself in the mirror and be like, do you even still want to do this? Do you even still have the passion for it? Can you even still write a fucking song? And I'm like, yo, this is just me. Like, there's never a time I don't hear a beat and I'm not trying to come up with something. There's never a time I don't hear an album and I'm like, damn, them cymbals are hard, dog. Like, that's crazy. I can't believe you put them cymbals there. Like, that's just kind of, I'm never watching a movie and not paying attention to, like, oh my God, like, that's this actor from so and so, and like, oh damn.
Sometimes I like to rewind and watch the scene again because it's like, damn, how they shot that.
Yeah, it's me. So, do you have a process of how you tell yourself that?
I would say this. I will say this. I have prospects of what I would see myself doing outside of filmmaking, and whether I'm going back to school. I'll say this. I do have prospects, and whatever I'm doing that's not filmmaking, I'm still making short films out of love for them and out of passion for them, because that's always been therapeutic in a way. Just film stuff, work on stuff. So, like, you know, I see myself going back to school and majoring, you know, get a degree in English and becoming a literary teacher or something. But I'm still making my short films on the side on the weekend out of love for them. Filmmaking is I would love to say it's a part of me. I don't think it's gonna leave. I don't think I'm gonna stop doing it anytime soon.
Yeah, I don't think you can. You know what I mean? When you love something that much, I don't think you can. But I was talking to Tyler about this, man. We were talking about being a musician and how he felt like it was just kind of over for him. Like, it's just not what he cares about anymore.
He keeps saying that.
But then, you know, we were talking about fitness and that journey and stuff like that. And I was like,
man, y'all are on a roll.
Just fucking bulking.
I would say that. I love to see my brothers shine, man.
100%. And I think that's the thing. Sometimes we get so attached to, I guess, I don't know, you get so attached to, like, being the artist and forgetting about all the pieces that come with it. You know, there's a purpose still attached to it. Like I said,
you get lost, yeah.
Yeah, being a doctor, but it was only to heal people, so the purpose was still the same here.
That's so cool. You wanted to be a doctor.
Yeah, no, in fact, my family was ranting and raving about that forever. When I turned around, I was like, I'm a rap. They was like, what the fuck? But they couldn't tell me shit. I still had all AP classes. I was insane. But what I'm trying to say is, the purpose is still there. So when I do think about, like, you know, if the music thing, like, I think I am okay with just loving music and doing it on my spare time. My goal is to make music for it. Make money from it. Like, I want to live off of something that I create every day. But I do see this podcasting as, like, something that is still the same purpose. It may not be the same thing, but it serves the same purpose, which may satisfy me in that way, which may, you know, make me be okay with putting the mic down for a couple years. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's like you said, going back to school and becoming a teacher. I would love to teach students how to play guitar, or like how to look at a song, or A&R projects or something like that. I would learn how to produce, and, you know, like, so there is many different, like, lanes I can go in, but it would have to be music, and I don't think I could sit in the background too long. I'm too Beyonce for that.
No.
I'm too diva for that, man. Do you think life imitates art, or art imitates life? Did I say that right? Does life imitate art, or does art imitate life?
I think you did. I'm just thinking. Does I think art imitates life. I think, right?
Yeah.
I would say only. It's not like whatever's happening in that movie inspires that in real life. I think they're not mutually exclusive.
No, yeah, I guess it would be life. Art imitates life, because to make a movie,
You have to look at.
yeah, you know what's going on. Like you don't have those movies about the abusive couple without being in an abusive relationship or
Art
learning
imitates
about it.
life. Yeah.
Yeah. Facts. I mean, okay. Well, to that point, then how do you approach your creation? You know, what's your process like? Are you waiting to be inspired by something that's going on in your life? Are you reading stories and being like, oh, what if they wrote it this way and flipping it yourself? Are you, you know, taking a movie that you really love and thinking like, what if I made a part 2 to this? You know, are you taking a small scene and just, because like sometimes I see a small scene and I'm like, what if she just went outside and nothing was there anymore? Like how would that movie go?
When I first started, I like that question. I'm gonna answer that. Hold on. When I first started getting interested in film, so I would write these short stories. You could say essays, but they were really like short stories, like sequels to movies that I would love to see a sequel to.
Yeah.
I Am Legend.
Yes.
Babylon AD.
Yeah.
I actually wrote a little short sequel because I actually like that Vin Diesel movie. It was
Sick, dude.
underrated as hell. I like that. Just stuff like that. What was the question again?
It was what is your process like? How do you approach creation?
Okay. So got it. So usually it starts like I would read some stuff or I would read other screenplays and get inspired off that. Like man, like wow, like imagine if this translate like whether it's a scene that's deleted or like I read like a full screenplay and I like reading screenplays sometimes.
Too, man.
Yeah.
So into them.
But really, besides that, reading and like you know, learning how to go about a structure of a scene from other screenwriters, man, bless. Really, what's my process is just watching classic movies and just getting influence in how they would look in modern day.
I like that. I like that idea. Yeah, same. So I'm still working on my very first film and my very first script of all time, which unlike you, I should have went to a short script, right? I should have went to short plays and shit like that. I was like, no, I'm gonna write a full feature blockbuster film, just doing too fucking much.
I'm still writing my current screenplay that I've been working on for many years. It's a process, man. Yeah.
No, it definitely is. But saying that to say that I got inspired off reading this book. I forgot who it's by, Valachi Papers. And so the intro to that script, to that movie, is essentially the intro of the book of the Valachi Papers, just really like remixed all the way through.
Okay.
But yeah, that like kind of it was just a scene I wanted to write, and the scene became like, oh, I'm gonna like, okay, he's gonna be this, and oh, we're gonna like, you know, flashbacks to when he's 20 now, and then I don't know about you, but for me, I was like, okay, I'm making all these storylines, but I don't know who these characters are. So I paused myself when writing the script, and I wrote down everybody, and I like made up different stories for the backgrounds, just so like how they knew each other, where they came from, what they loved to eat.
I love that. That's great.
Do you do things like that?
Their backgrounds and all these, man, the whole night. I love that.
Yeah.
When it comes to my characters, with my screenplay, I have a treatment and it gives a little description of each character.
Okay.
And
I like that.
what is their purpose in this scene? Like what are they doing in this scene? So, a treatment which consists of like every character with their description and but backgrounds and stuff. No, really, it really just falls on the writing when you're writing the screenplay, when you have your ideas and then but you go back if you want to flesh out that character more. It varies, man. Yeah,
that's a really cool way. I found it really hard to continue to write about a person and like not know myself why they would react that way. And I knew I couldn't give it to the audience that way. Like if I was, it would be like a small flashback scene of 2 minutes and like show that they were, you know. But sometimes that gets overplayed out. But I just needed to know in my head, like she talks this way and she's rambunctious this way because she comes from here and this is what she's going through and blah 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 blah.
With my current screenplay, I actually wrote a sequel to it as an exercise, and it's funny you say that. Like, how does this character go about and being a bit zesty.
Yeah.
I'm never gonna produce that script, but it was a good training. It was a good training tool just to see where I can go with the characters that survive at the end of the movie, and got it up.
Well, yeah, okay. Then I wanna give you that exercise for yourself whenever you just feel like writing, man. Come up with a couple characters. Come up with a small plot, small synopsis of some characters, and then just spend time writing them out. Like I want to challenge you to do that. See what comes of it. You'll be surprised how much you write into this character and become attached to them to the point where it kind of writes its own story.
You got it.
Yeah,
I think,
and I want to employ everybody to do that. If you're into movies or into anything, definitely try to do that. It's a cool exercise.
Audiences, believe it or not, they do care about the characters.
They do.
And
how many times have you fell in love with a character and been mad that they died, or just mad?
Oh, don't get me started.
At an actor for playing a character so well.
And then, like I said, you want to make a movie for yourself. And in my screenplay, I had a character who died, but then after some years, and I've actually had other people doctor the script and give me their perspective. I rewrote that script and that character lives because I fell in love because that they were right. I love that. I love that character so much. Why would I want to?
Cool.
At the end of the day, you want to satisfy the audiences, or unless you want to make a dark fucked up movie. I love those movies. I love those bold movies, but you know, you want to make the audiences feel good.
No, I love that, man. What speaking a lot about, I keep bringing purpose into it. What purpose and or value are you hoping to fulfill or portray with your art and films? A lot of times when I'm making music, I stay away from trying to make the breakup song or the grind song or whatever. Like I think we all have those songs, and I think I think any artist will like relate when I say like it just makes it too hard. Like you kind of just have to be in that space to make that song. If I'm going through a breakup, if I'm really upset with my girl, like I can just produce that type of music. But my purpose is always just to relate to somebody in a dark time. I never made a happy song a day in my life, but that's usually my purpose, and to help carry people through it.
I don't think I ever made a like happy-go-lucky short film.
Yeah,
I think there are a lot of dark subject matters that I've made, man.
Isn't that the best art? Best art is just fucking miserable. That's just how we do it. But do you know, whenever you write a script, and especially the scripts that you know, whether there's like, because I don't know, it's not Sarah, it's probably something before that. You have a short film that I don't think it has any dialogue to it.
Yeah, mind you, some of my old stuff I really just rely on like the camera and the music. So yeah, there were a couple of old stuff that I made back in the day that was supposed to like intrigue the audiences, but really it was just
whatever. So there's nothing really there. But like in my head, I'm like, well, maybe he's just telling the story, with silence. There's a lot of silent films
without expressing dialogue. Like, yeah.
Do you ever have an actual purpose or value that you're trying to present to people, or are you just purely just creating and just trying to get some ideas off?
A little bit of both. Purely just creating and just have some fun with what you love doing, but you also want to have the audiences feel something. I would love for the audiences, like if they remember what were their favorite scenes or like what they felt from that scene. Do we share the same views? Like I have my interpretation on that. I would love to hear yours. You don't always want to have like a clear definite answer for everything. It's cool to leave some like questions unanswered and then have audiences keep being intrigued and keep watching more.
100%.
Unveil on itself. So,
how often would you say, because you're basically saying 50-50, but does it ever 49-51? How often is an idea just an idea? And then how often are you
No.
How often are you like, no, I need to tell this story. This needs to come off this way. Or do you ever get that way?
It needs to tell. Sometimes I would have a basis of an idea, and like whether it's like the crew or the cast, I'll hear from them and what they think benefits that for the story, and just work off from there. Other times we do exactly what's on the script, but I love improvising. Improvising is really fun. But when you have a set script and dialogue, then oh man, you're a filmmaker.
No, 100%. Are you open to change on set or in the process of filming in general? Like, I've read or seen somewhere that Quentin Tarantino is one of those people, like, I wrote it like this, say it like this. Like, you're doing this wrong. This is how I envision it. This is what it needs to be. Are you open to letting the actor kind of take on that role the way they need to? And although you may have wrote them as some rugged, raunchy character, they may come a little bit more smooth with a little bit more swag. And you're like, you know what? I like that a little better. Let's go with that. Are you open to shit like that?
I'm open to that, and I'm open to just ideas to benefit the story. If I wrote a character one way, we can do it one way. You have an idea, let's do it the other way.
Facts.
So yeah, it goes both ways, man. Collaboration. is everything, and you want to hear it from the other person. You don't want to be a Nazi and say this, that. Leave it like that. Compose that shot. Leave that lighting. Okay, we should turn. No, thank you.
No,
I don't operate like that, man.
Yeah, I used to be that way with my music, man. I got so much.
Well,
better.
when you start off, you have you really have no choice.
Yeah,
because you're starting off. You want to like make the best thing, and
yeah, you want to make the best thing, and you want it to be your thing. Like I just had this super grand ideal of like what this was supposed to look like or sound like. So when I came in the studio and people had different ideas, I was like, no. And then finally, with my first album, I mean, on the song XOXO, like there's 5 writers on that song. I never let anybody touch a song, but there's 5 writers on that song, and that song was so successful.
Would you ghostwrite for others?
No, not actually like handed them a reference track.
No, nobody pay you.
Yeah, and nobody handed me a reference track either. When I say 5 writers, I mean like there's 5 of us in the studio. I'm recording a song, and they're like, oh, you know what? What if you use this word instead? And like, you know what? Got it. This and it is not going together, so let's change it to there instead of it. Because
that's lab. That's like better. Y'all in the laboratory.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, these chords like they're too dark. Maybe we should sing higher. Like this is what I'm talking about. I
like
writers
that. Bouncing off each other. I like
exactly.
that. It's very very flowing. Very seamless.
Exactly.
You wanna be on the same frequency with your collaborators. Be open to new ideas. New things aren't too bad, man.
Yeah, it was the most beautiful session I've ever been in, and I never used to be open to things like that. I was always just like, leave it the fuck alone. Focus on your own album. I got this. But once I started opening up my sessions to people and opening up by like my song and my ideas to other people's ideas, like bringing people from Texas to play fucking jazz chords and shit like that, my music got like a lot better. Like just the musicality of it. That's what I like to hear. And that's why I kind of like got scared to make the 3rd album, because I'm like, I don't think I could do this again. Like this music is just so good. I don't have these connections no more. Like how the fuck am I supposed to do this? And like I just fucking wigged out for a second. But there's so many other people I can collaborate with, and so many things that I learned from the people that I can get back to.
Reassurance is key.
No, facts, man. To backtrack to escapism, which we, already touched on a bunch.
That's gonna be the title of this episode. I feel escapism.
Hey, if that's
we said a lot of escapisms today.
Let's do it, but let's break it down though. You know what I mean? So,
let's do it. Yeah.
What were you trying? What do you think? I think we subconsciously escape, right? And then we do it on purpose.
To distract ourselves.
Purposely, over your course of life, when you knew what escapism was and you knew you were running from something, what exactly were you running away from, and how did you do it?
What exactly? I was going through some I would say I've been through some emotional trauma, and what I had to witness at a very young age, and and I would, what? Sometimes I would do that, if I was like in a situation where I should have been in that situation, because of what's going on with that other person and what they're dealing with, and you happen to witness and experience, such turbulence and such like, just, oh man. So I guess at the time I didn't realize the escapism. Okay. I would usually just go to my room, close the door, or my sister would distract me by throwing on a movie while ruckus was going on in the other area of the house. It's crazy when you come to a certain age and you realize like what was happening, and then the movies really helped you out, just to distract you. My mom, she was married to Edwin, remember?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not together anymore. They're divorced. They've been through a turbulent like marriage, throughout, and he had a drinking problem, and he would like smash stuff and just get belligerent and just a bit violent. And I was there. I was a little kid, and my sister had to endure that and scream at him, and him, just it was all unnecessary. And especially me being a little kid and witnessing that, not knowing what's going on, and my sister having to distract me by throwing something on the TV and just getting immersed in that. And it really, I think that's why I'm like really obsessed with like the whole filmmaking thing is.
Right, because it's almost like your safe place.
It benefited my mental health in a way.
Yeah.
Everybody's good now. Like we're on good terms as far as I know. Like no bad blood. But yeah, just been through some bad shit, and movies were a good way to, and shows too. Shows.
Facts. I
Or a
can
good way
see
to
that.
escape.
Sorry to cut you off. I can see that being a traumatic experience for sure, and that's something I dealt with like firsthand. Like I was in the middle of that shit, kind of producing the same chaotic ruckus on my own home and my own body. But I've also seen it myself, and I can see how traumatic that can be. But you mentioned emotional trauma, and I kind of want you to define that.
Absolutely.
From the space that you're talking about it as, because I'm not sure if I really know what that is. I feel like emotional trauma is almost like, almost people telling you that you're not allowed to feel your feelings or that your feelings aren't real. And that can kind of put you in a state of not understanding what you're feeling. And it kind of creates an emotional trauma. But I could be wrong
Being
on that.
emotionally manipulated.
Okay, yeah.
Because you're a little kid.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it skews your perspective.
Yeah.
Just some people going about a certain way and you being confused, and then they say a whole other thing, and then I say emotional trauma because I wasn't physically abused. I wasn't verbally abused. It was more on the mental side where like he's this whole like there's some days where he's a great stepfather and he's a good stepfather and I care so much about him. And then there's these really dark days when he drinks and he just turns into this whole other person and it's just it's Jekyll and Hyde.
Yeah.
And
it's kind of a push and pull.
I could be wrong too on the word, and I'm sorry if it's the wrong word to express how that was, but that's what I came up with.
Yeah,
because he never laid his hands on me. He never like belittled me or anything. And my pops, my father, he wasn't gonna let that slide either, because he's a serious OG. Like he don't play that shit.
Facts.
But he kept out of mom's business because that's her marriage.
Right. Which is super respectful.
It's super respectful, but like when it comes to kids, come on, man, come on. So that's why I say emotional trauma, and I didn't know any better. I wish I could have helped more, and my mom would always separate me from him, not to cause any more just incidents. It was crazy.
If you were the age you are now, back then, what do you think you would have done? Like, what do you think you could have done to help?
I would have, knowing me, I would have gotten in the way, because he would put his hands on my mom, and I would have fought him. And I've seen him getting beat because of doing that. Because my uncle wasn't letting that happen. Like basically, there were people on standby if he he misbehaved. Like it's fucking crazy. It's insane to witness so much violence and in one house to another. It's so. What was the question?
No, we just walking through it, bro. There really is no question, man. We just walking through it.
No, like I said, no bad blood right now. Everything's good. I'm good. But yeah, there were those few years were pretty intense, and I commend I applaud my sister and my mom for being so strong, and me, growing up and having that mentality of just be strong and keep your chin up. And like I said, I kind of grew up at a young age, because you see how older people operate and know not to go about a certain thing in a certain way.
Honestly, when you're in situations...
See, I'm clutching my fist now, just thinking about it.
Trigger alert, trigger warning.
Because there was an incident where I almost fought him, and then oh my god, my mom, man, she got in the way, and
Yeah, do you kind of a long-winded question and the multiple part question, but I feel like I think when kids grow up and things like that, or witness things like that, and it's to somebody who's so dear to them, so close to them, especially I think with the masculine archetype, we all automatically have this warrior archetype. We always have this protector archetype, right? And when you're a little boy and you're just helpless and you can't do anything, and you can't really piece together what it's doing to this person and just how traumatic and fucked up it is. But as you get older, you kind of sit with that, and you're like, damn, I wish I could have did more. Do you
I wish
ever deal with some regret about that, or do you ever blame yourself around that?
I don't blame. You said blame?
Yeah. Do you have any blame for yourself or anybody else? Do you ever look at your father and get upset with him because it's like, if you were here, we wouldn't have to deal with this? You know, not putting anything on you. By the way, these are just
No.
like questions that I'm like, I knew
absolutely.
I grew up in some spaces and other people have.
I
just wonder.
I think it could have played out differently if my mom didn't leave my dad. It could have, but like I said, she's her own person. She wants to be happy. She got with him, and I don't blame myself because I was a kid. What could you do, man? What can you do when you're a little kid? You just want to just see your loved ones together. I don't put any blame on myself. I don't put any blame like on nobody but those two people, and they had to work it out themselves.
Yeah.
So I would have loved for I don't blame my dad either. I'm gonna say that now. I don't blame my dad for anything. I wish he was in our lives more, but it was because I was living with mom, and at the time he had his late mother living with him, and I couldn't like sleep over and stuff.
Yeah.
So like he was great. He wasn't like I mean, come on, he's still in our lives. He's great. I love my dad. But like when of course mom was married to Edwin, and and we were living over there. So I don't put any blame on my pops, my sister, my mom. It's just
I feel you.
It was out of my hands. But I wish if it happened now, it would have been a different story.
Of course, 100% a different story.
No.
Sometimes, and you can tell me if this is true for you. And I didn't just get through this, but I got through this a while ago. I would say it was one of my first steps into healing. I think I had to go with forgiveness, and I think I was like so angry at my situation. But when you're so angry at what's going on in front of you, you start to look for everything around you and start to point fingers. And I got really angry at my parents. Like I got really angry at them for like, just like, why didn't you guys get it together so I didn't have to go through this shit? And so I guess I'm asking that because like sometimes I think I got mad at my mom for like, man, we wouldn't have to went through that, or my father, like we wouldn't have had to go through that if you were just fucking smarter. Like if you just recognized you had kids in the house, like hello, now that I'm older, I can see things like just these are humans growing up as well, making decisions that they think are best for you at the time, or probably were best for you at the time. You just couldn't see it yet. Did you ever deal with any of that? Like any just like super like, man, bro, like I'm really upset that you guys even let me go through that. Did you ever have that against your parents or any like figure in your life? Or is that just me? I just to relate, I don't know.
That's a good question. No, I don't know. I wouldn't put blame on anybody else with how the living situation was. It was really just I sometimes I can't help but think if my mom and dad were still together.
Yeah.
Because he took care of her, and they were happy, but she wanted to be with somebody else. So.
No, facts. I think about that shit all the time too. My pops, he used to sell a lot of fucking drugs. They got us whatever we wanted, but my mom knew what he was doing, and she was like, "If you ever get locked up, I'm leaving you." She meant that shit. The moment he got locked up, bro, I think it took her less than 3 months to send those papers too.
my mom was with the shits because my dad was dealing too at a certain point, and she was with the shits. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, I love that, man. Is there any other
ways? She
OG
too, man. Yeah, I love my mom.
No, your mom's lit, man. She's really fucking cool, bro.
Yeah, bless that woman.
I can't. I didn't see her. I'd seen her not too long ago. It wasn't like the soonest time, but not.
She be around, man. Like, yeah, she's still living in Logan Square.
Yeah. I pass by it all the time. I'll be looking. I think I seen her parking one time. I yelled out the window. I don't think she knows me. She's probably like, man, these fucking kids. Funny as fuck.
Popular.
Were there any other ways that you kind of dealt with that at that time besides escaping through movies? And as you got older, were there better ways you dealt with it? Did you ever talk to anybody about this? Did you work out about it? Did you and your sister sit down and have conversations? Did you ever talk to your mom about it? How did those conversations go?
Throughout the years, like more and more, we would have conversations of what happened, and it was better late than ever.
Yeah, was it like a sit down at the table type of conversation over dinner, or was it just in passing?
It was in passing. It was. We talk about it here and there, and then and then mom herself, she grew up. She changed, and With my sister, you know, yeah, there were certain times where we would bring up the past and like how we went about things and how we shouldn't have went about them in a certain way. And there if we sat down and actually discuss, I believe we did. I think one time I believe we did in the kitchen.
That's healthy, dude. I love that because I feel like a lot of families just kind of smooth everything over,
No,
sweep under the rug.
No,
You know, you have your sayings.
Not
we know
bottle
what we
that
do.
up.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
But nobody says anything about it. Yeah, honestly, like me and my family, we talk about our fucked up moments too, but we laugh about them often, or I think sometimes we kind of wear them as a badge of honor, which I think is so sick sometimes, but whatever.
Yeah.
I really wish we did sit down and actually have that real conversation. I'm actually trying to get a podcast together, but they're so reserved as people. Not to come with my family and brothers and sisters. I love y'all, but they need to open up a little bit more, and I'm working on getting them there. 100%. Now, when I first asked you to do this podcast, man, you brought to my attention that you dealt with social anxiety. I had no idea about that. I mean, I met you. I wouldn't call you a recluse person. I would call you were somewhat quiet, but I'm a loud person, so everybody's quiet around me. You know, you had a quiet, lovely home. Like there wasn't a lot of things going on. I mean, you weren't always outside at other parties, but I never related that to social anxiety. Can you talk to us about that? Like, how long was that there, and how are you dealing with it?
Throughout my childhood, I was pretty much out. I was out, you know. I was and there was other times I was inside and you know just watching movies or doing whatever, you know, just being in the house. And I think because those times I spent so much in the house, I think it gotten in the way of like how I come about like talking to people, whether somebody's calling the house or somebody's at the door and wanting to talk to you.
Yeah.
Don't talk to me. I overcame that. Of course, I don't really deal with the social anxiety as much now. I'm pretty cool. I say social anxiety is I was a shy and awkward kid.
Yeah.
I really was. I can't really think of the inception of like how it came about that because you relatively you are right. Like I grew up in a nice household. I was out, but I wasn't like out like that. Like you know, just keeping to myself. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's just it was just I was going through a weird phase and just trying to like overcome that, and I'm glad I did.
You know, facts. I mean, we need people. It's like on that whatever pyramid they be talking about that people need, like food, love, and people, whatever community. We definitely need people. I think
that just the people in your life and like anything to help you benefit for your own sake
100%,
and just to
it takes
be a better
village.
person.
Yeah, it takes a village, and you need to talk to the village 100%.
I had a lisp and I overcame that. So on my own.
On your own?
Yeah.
It's like what? Reading encyclopedias?
saying my S's, like,
Yes.
because I used to talk like this. Like, yeah.
You know, it's funny.
I overcame that in middle school. Thank
shouts to
God.
West Side
Imagine in high
Boogie,
school.
man.
Like, nah, man.
West Side Boogie has the craziest lisp, but I love his music, and
Mike
he still
Tyson
sounds
has the
dope,
best
dude.
lisp. Mike Tyson.
Yeah,
has
I
the
wonder
best
why he's never gonna come there because he talks a lot. Do you think that it probably like goes away by then? But I don't know. I don't know the science behind that and how they get people to therapeutically let go of that. But shouts to you for doing that, bro, all the way through. Goddamn, you just ruined my fucking train of thought. Fuck.
I'm sorry.
No, I was gonna say, social anxiety and shit. Yeah, I feel like a lot of us deal with it. I think it just comes in different forms and different ways.
Forms, how you operate yourself in a crowd, and
Yeah, I think I always use a defense mechanism, and my defense mechanism is to be louder than the people in front of me.
or people drink too.
Yeah, and I became more aware of that. So lately, with my drinking habits, I realized that I could be very codependent and just cope very unhealthily. Whenever I'm not feeling okay or I'm scared or I'm anxious, I'm like, let me go drink. And I think that's something that we just been watching our whole life, right? Like, you know, dad had a long day at work, I need a beer. Mom had a stressful day at work, I need a drink. You know, like, oh, this just happened with my husband, I need a drink. And I maybe that just kind of came to me on its own, but it kind of just, slows your nervous system. And I realized, I became more aware of that and stopped using it for that reason. I used to do it when I was performing. My nerves when I'm performing are insane. Like, I still had a fucking racing heart doing this with you before we started, which is why I always start the podcast to talk about nothing, because it makes me kind of like flow in. But Yeah, like I used to take a shot every time I performed just to like calm my nerves, but it wasn't working fast enough. So I would drink more and more and more, and then I would get on stage and not be my best. Until my band finally was like, "Yeah, no, we're not doing any of that until you get off the stage." And I'd be like, "All right, bet." And I had to like work myself through it. And now it's a lot easier for me to kind of come in and start like.
Yeah. What are your
situation.
vices now? Like, what do you use to cope with that? To go about.
I still use alcohol. Alcohol is my
Well, if
absolute.
you have a grasp on it,
Alcohol is a vice that I definitely use to just cope, to feel more comfortable when I'm bored. Oh my god,
am I?
I get understimulated really really fast.
You drink because you're bored sometimes?
Yeah, not by myself though, because I can't be bored by myself. I'm saying if I go
man,
out,
yeah, that's a whole other story.
like if we all went out, you know what I'm saying, with a group of people, and I just felt like really understimulated, like I wasn't having fun, and you guys were all on your phones, and I think I would like overly drink.
I hate that too. I don't like doing that, especially when I'm out.
Yeah, nicotine of course too. Like I love my vape. I love my vape. Lately I got real good at these. I used to kill these in like 2 days, 3 days. Now these last like a week and a half. So I got really good at that. But I replaced all like in therapy. I came to the realization that it's not that I have issues with these vices. It's the fact that I have issues with myself, and I don't know how to deal with them. So I cope with them unhealthily, such as escapism. But the escapism is not always cute because back in the days, back in the days when I was single or whatever, I would escape with many different women. I would escape with many different drugs and alcohol. Like I was just always trying to not feel my feelings and always not trying to look myself
Women
in the mirror.
for sure is a vice, yeah.
Yeah, nah, for real,
Was
for real.
a vice.
Was, yeah, let's use the word was. Absolute was, capital was. But yeah, now it's easy for me to be like, I'm having. Like the other day, dude, I was just having like a little back and forth with my girl. It gave me anxiety because I have fucking anxious attachment style. I was tripping, and I had to go to work, but I was really, really sleepy. But I knew I wouldn't sleep because I had all this anxiety, and I was like, you know what? I can't go to work like this. So I went to go work out for 45 minutes and like released it that way. I go for walks. I listen to podcasts that help me. I read if I have the mindset for it. Watching fucking Mulan, doing push-ups.
Yeah, don't force yourself. I mean,
yeah, no, I mean,
you gotta be in the right mindset for stuff, man.
Yeah, and that's how I deal with it now. Like it's way easier for me to sit down and meditate, talk to God, take a shower, cook for myself, things like that makes me feel better. And if absolutely nothing is working, then I just know I need to confront it. And 9 times out of 10, it is with a person or with a feeling, and I either talk out loud or I write it out. Journaling has been a really big thing for me, and it's actually helped me get back into music too. Because when I journal, I just write how I feel. So if I'm having an argument with my girlfriend, like I'm literally being like, "You're a piece of shit. I fucking hate you." Blah blah blah. None of these things I feel towards her. None of these things I will actually say towards her. But I'm so angry, and I'm just so like I will literally write it out. You know what I'm saying? If I'm mad at God, I would write it out. You know what I'm saying? If I'm
right. I have a little black book where I write ideas, or if I dream, I write those ideas down. Writing is definitely a vice. Weed.
Weed, I wish I can get back into, because weed, I feel like is the greatest vice you can have, man. I got a psychiatrist now, and my psychiatrist says to me that all these drugs or vices or whatever that we use fuck with the reward pathway, and there's like things like such as food and your relationship and shit like that you now can't enjoy the same because you use them, and weed is one of them, nicotine is one of them. Because I'm telling him like, oh, these smaller things, he's like, no, they're not as small as you think they are. Like, cool, you're not doing fucking heroin and drinking 30 bottles a day, but you hitting that vape every time you get anxious is an issue, and you need to let me, okay, fuck, let me figure it out. So whatever, that was a whole nother tangent, but yeah, that's what I'm on right now, man.
Vices, that's good. You're seeing a psychiatrist.
Yeah, he's cool. His name's like Edgar Wozniak, Wozniak or some shit.
Edgar Wozniak,
some shit like that, man. He's the homie.
Shout out Edgar.
Yeah, shout out Edgar, man. I've been on many different levels of trying to heal, from meditation to reading to just learning whatever I possibly can, and trying to do my best to show it to everybody else.
Reading,
too. Yeah. All the way through, but all those things I think come with depression as well, dude. And I feel like some of those things come with being lonely. I'm like the loneliest I've ever been, but I'm also the most focused I've ever been. Do you think any of those like traumatic experiences you went through, along with social anxiety, has ever left you in a place of depression?
For sure. Oh man, yeah. There were times where I really battled with depression. I never had like suicide ideation, nothing to that degree. But there's certain times when depression, man, it's like those vices too. If they don't help, and you just feel like you're crumbling. There were certain times where you really doubt yourself, and you try to just stay inspired to keep distracting yourself. But there were times where like, yeah, I was really depressed, and am I fully out of it? I don't know. There's certain times where I feel low for sure, still. But I'm good. Like, I've definitely improved on my craft, and I'm learning a lot, and I don't want to take these upcoming years for granted. But the world's a dark place, man.
No, it really is, bro. I feel like I've been grieving way too long, but that's just how that shit happens. I mean, some things I learned along the way is that coping skill, bro. Coping, like, that's why I work out every fucking day, because I'm just like, it gets me fired up.
I gotta get back in the gym.
No, in fact, but even,
I have a whole membership, man. I gotta go back.
That's the thing, though. People put too much pressure on working out, I feel like, and that's what scares people away.
I don't put pressure on it.
No. Okay, cool. Because sometimes you don't need no big ass gym, bro. If you got a bike, ride that bitch to the lake and ride it back.
I love walking.
Yes.
I love walking. Yeah,
that's the same shit, bro. As long as you're moving your body and kind of saying out your head, it's the same way, man. Do you ever? Well, you say the doubt or the fear of doubt, like the doubt that you have, which I think we all go through as artists.
Am I gonna make it? Like it's an ego thing, like. Yeah. But it's deeper than that, because you want to support your family, and like, if you don't go about what you want to do, then okay, you have your prospects, and I mean, people say it's good to fail because you'll come out of that better. I don't know.
Yeah, no, that shit sometimes fucks with me too, man. I sometimes I'm in a place of nothing but doubt. Like, what am I even doing? This is silly. And then other times I'm like, nah, like, you're actually the coolest thing ever, and you need to keep going. But it's all about that validation and that reassurance, which I feel like we need to really work on giving to ourselves. But it really feels really good when somebody looks at you and be like, I see you.
Shout out to my parents. Whatever I am or hope to be, I do owe it to them. They were great parents.
For real, shouts to the parents, because I would not be who I am.
Yeah, they are great parents.
And all the things we went through. Do you ever experience it? Well, I guess that's what we're talking about when it comes down to doubt. Is that the fear of failure? Like, how often do you battle with that?
Not as much now.
Not as much now?
Not as much now. No. I keep my head up. I try to do as much work, and yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm glad I don't have as much doubt now, because we're still young, and we still have some time, even though we have more time behind us than in front. But
well, I like to think about it the other way. Like, I have a lot more time ahead of me than I have behind me, because I see so many people like succeeding and living out their dreams at the age that they didn't believe it. They're like, man,
I think that's why I don't have as much doubt now.
I wanted to be in the pageant when I was 16, but but they got the Vogue cover when they were 40. You know what I'm saying?
32, 40.
Yeah. So I'm looking at it like, nah, bro. Like,
yeah, it's to piggyback off you. It's assuring to to realize, like, some of your idols, they started at a very like late age. Yeah. Not late age, but like not as soon as they hoped.
Exactly.
But you
still kind of got one up on them. And if you're looking up to them and you're following their steps and you're doing it 10 years ahead of them,
would you say Pedro Pascal is one of those? Dave Bautista. They kind of blew up at a late age.
Batista, no, because of wrestling.
But
he was fairly young in wrestling. He had to be late 20s, early 30s.
Because he said he always wanted to be an actor, and wrestling was like a form of
acting. So he was known in a different way, but in his acting, yeah, of course, he came up a little later. Pedro Pascal for sure, because I didn't know who the fuck he was until just a couple years ago. So yeah, I think there's tons of people, like, even some of the biggest people from Disney to Oprah, they always have those stories of them being like dead broke at 25 and not knowing what to do. And we were sitting here at 17, like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm like, bro, we just putting too much pressure on ourselves, man. Like, I'm 28 right now, and I'm like,
that's another thing.
Is my life away from me? Like, I'm about to be 30. Is rapping still cool? Like, bro, your favorite rapper is 50. What are you talking about?
We don't have. We always got to remind ourselves we have no imaginary deadline.
Yeah,
there's no deadline.
It's not there. Only the ones you put on yourself. And I make goals for myself now because it's important to get things done and not just be like, oh, I'm gonna make an album, and now you're 40 and now I'm saying come out. Like, nah, this album has to come out right then, and I'm gonna do the steps to do that. But no, 100%, I'm not tripping on it too much. But I don't have as much. Not to cut you off. I don't have a lot of doubt now. Yeah, no, I'm definitely just to be honest with you, all I've been thinking about lately is money. That's where all my gray hairs are coming from. So I'm wearing this hat. I got no gray hairs, but that's where it's all coming from for me. But like, I'm glad that I like went through this whole process of trying to like build a label and start a music business, because now I so much understand the idea of return on investment, actual investment, saving, prioritizing, all these things that I had to go through that I seen as trials and tribulations really were just learning curves that made me a better artist and better with my money and better with my time and better with my consideration. So I think I'm gonna just come back raw as fuck and like
Better than ever.
Yeah, there's like nothing to really doubt about me, man. Go ahead. Sorry.
That's another thing. Like, you make your own label. I'm like trying to have my own little production company with Solace Productions and all that. And
Yes, sir. Oh, well, I guess you're not the proper person to ask about that. So let me not. I really want to do an episode, man, with artists and talk to them about how hard it is to continue to do something you love with all that's going on, man. I feel like it's the toughest thing, and people don't.
We're living in a scary ass time right now.
Yeah, people
There's
don't.
a whole war
that.
going on,
bro.
Right now.
There's so much shit happening, and it's just like so much, like, it's just so many things that are like, quote unquote, more important. Especially for something that you're not getting paid off right now. Especially for something that probably is not being watched right now. You know what I mean? It's just like a tough thing. Escapism all the way. How are you dealing with all those feelings above everything that we just talked about? How are you dealing with them right now?
It's desensitizing. I feel like we have so much access to the internet, and we've just seen so much stuff. We're sort of desensitized in a sense where like it's very scary, but anything could happen, and we just got to be ready for it.
Facts. I love to hear that. Well, to wrap up the podcast, I like to end these things on a light note because we always get into our little feelings. You know what I'm saying?
That was great.
Yeah,
that was nice.
Is there anything you're working on right now that you can share with us?
I have a music video coming out very soon, and I'm also just currently writing, just brainstorming my next thing. I have a couple of ideas going in the right direction of what I want to do next, but it's up in the air. So I'm just writing. New music video coming out soon, and I've shot a little bit of a promotional video for our friend Nathan, his wrestling program that he's trying to build up. Man. Absolutely. So right now, just going over the footage of that, of what I shot with the training programs and the wrestler trainees and all that. It was pretty fun. But so far, just some promotional work, music video dropping soon, short film. That's still in the air. Just like I said, just brainstorming and just trying to just come up with a cool idea to execute from there.
Sick, dude. What's your ultimate goal with the movie making?
Ultimate goal to support my family and just to
nothing wrong with a check, man.
Nothing wrong with a check. Nothing wrong with a check. But also it's just I think it's rewarding itself just to sit in a director's chair behind a camera and say action and on a big. That's my goal. Like being on a movie set, first day of shooting, and we're here. Yeah, I love that. And anything could happen.
And like the cross leg fucking wooden chair that says director on it.
Yeah,
you know what I'm talking about? Yeah.
Yeah. It's the fact that you made it to that point. Yeah. That's my goal. Is to legit be on a movie set of my own, and just create magic. That's the end goal, and support my family.
I love that. What is one of your biggest fears? And you can't lie about this.
Biggest fears?
Yeah, biggest fears. One of them, because I know we have a lot.
Biggest fears. Drowning.
Yes. Can you swim?
I'm not that good of a swimmer.
I can't swim for shit. Drowning is the worst way to die.
I gotta work on them legs, man.
Yeah, no, I'm not afraid to die anymore, but I'm afraid to die while drowning for sure.
Heights, I'm okay with heights to a certain. I mean, I'll skydive.
Bruh. Nah, so I just went to Six Flags.
Yeah, I'll skydive. I'll skydive.
I want to. I will. I'm going to. Do I want to? No, but I'm going to do it just to conquer that fear and say I did it. This is the same thing I did with fucking roller coasters. Yeah, dude. Thank you for coming. What's something you would like to leave with the people, bro? It could be a word of advice. It could be a cool quote you heard. It could be movies you want them to see. It could just be plugging yourself, man. It could be as simple. I love you. Anything you want to leave with them.
I'm very happy to be here and to talk with my friend and to have the opportunity to not only talk about issues, but just just whatever we're going through, you're not alone, and it's always good to talk to somebody. Keep a communication with somebody close to you, or just anybody. There's the beauty of social media and the beauty of just digital in general is that you get to have access to talk to either a therapist, to talk to a psychologist, a psychiatrist, whatever, to help you with your own mental health. And the only thing I gotta plug is really just I'm just excited to see what 2024 brings, and whether it be projects, it be personal goals. It's only up from here, and just please, everybody, just keep your head up, and we're gonna be all right, man.
Facts, man. Thank you so much for coming through. Thank you for sharing yourself with me, bearing your soul with me. It's not easy to talk about mental health. It's not easy to open up about your past with just anyone. And I try to make this podcast challenging but fun in the same process. But at the same time, I'm here to bring mental health awareness, but also just give a space for people that I know, love, and appreciate and admire to kind of, let some of that stuff go and let them know, like, this talk, these small things can go a long way, and we don't need alcohol, weed, or anything else to do that. You know what I'm saying? So thank you for sharing your time with me, man. A whole 2 hours of us just shooting the shit, but with purpose, man. I definitely appreciate you. Thank you so much for coming. Ladies and gentlemen.
Already broken, they been this numbing, ooh, wow. I hide my feelings in liquor, I spill my mind to the crowd. I feel so lonely and bitter, it takes so much just to smile. They took another brother from us, what we supposed to do now? I need them pills for the power, I need to find a new route.